Welcome back, everybody. Right now, we are exploring the BTK Killer's latest confession. Now, in a two-night special on A&E, Dr. Catherine Ramsland guides viewers through the murderous mindset of Dennis Rader. And in our conversation with Dr. Ramsland, we learned what was driving this sexual sadist, something that Rader called Factor X.
And I finally figured out what I call the Factor X. Made me do that.
Dennis Rader murdered 10 people between 1974 and 1991 in Kansas. For nearly 30 years, those killings went unsolved. But every so often, letters would arrive at local television stations from a man admitting to the crimes. Those letters were written by Rader, and in them, he referred to himself as the BTK Killer because he liked to bind, torture, and kill his victims. Now he's serving 10 consecutive life sentences and speaking out from behind bars. Dr. Catherine Ramsland, a professor of forensic psychology and author, has been in contact with Rader for 11 years.
The idea of being a serial killer, he thought, would guarantee fame. He'd be an elite offender. It would allow him to do some of these things to people that he imagined in his fantasies. And because it was sexual, there was a certain addictive element to it as well.
Dr. Ramsland worked closely with Rader to uncover his Factor X, the desire that motivated him to kill.
Factor X is an overall drive. Even today, if I see something on TV or a picture or start thinking about the old times of fantasy, I still get that feeling, that sexual feeling. I really do. I can't, it's just still there.
Factor X then becomes, what is the mystery that motivates Dennis Rader? I don't think there is that much mystery because I think you can really trace it to the kinds of fantasies he had, the arousal mechanism he used for himself, and that narcissism, that desire for fame. If you put those all together, I think his Factor X is pretty clear.
During one of their sessions, Rader came up with a term to describe his many conflicting selves: cubing.
The idea is all the different sides of a cube are true of him, some of which are completely contradictory, like being a good family man and a churchgoer, but also a thief and a serial killer. He can make all those work because they're all on different faces of who he is.
Rader was a complex man and a sadistic murderer. Dr. Ramsland warns us there isn't a singular tell-all trait to indicate someone is a serial killer.
Dennis Rader was head of his church congregation. He had a full-time job. He had a college degree. These are things that we often discount as being part of the makeup of a serial killer, and we need to stop doing that because that actually leaves us more vulnerable to them.
Just fascinating. For more insights from Rader and Dr. Ramsland, check out BTK Confession of a Serial Killer on A&E and AETV.com starting January the 8th.